Hey and howdy everyone, it's Jeannie with Paper Pixie Ink. Today I'm going to show you how to make these handmade flowers. This is supposed to represent, to the best of my ability, a magnolia. So I designed the petals, I guess, myself. I went to Canva and I looked up flower petals. I found one that I liked, and I used the kind of outline function to give it a solid shadow so that I had a nice smooth line around it. And then I downloaded it as a PNG file. I uploaded it into Cricut Maker, and I kind of put them together and covered each kind of end of the petals with a circle, and that's how I designed this. It took me maybe 5 minutes all told to create these, and then I just saved it as a project so that I can, you know, make these whenever I want, and I can resize them in any size that I want. So what I used to make this is 3 larger ones, 1 slightly smaller one. Each one of these has 3 petals, and then a slightly smaller one than the second smallest, so a small, medium, and large, and the small only has 2 petals. So I went ahead and pre-cut these, and this mat, this is not an actual Cricut brand mat. This is one that I got off Amazon. I find that it works really well, and they're very inexpensive. I have a tendency to go through probably more mats than I necessarily need to, but I do find that these ones work really well. This is a light grip mat, and it works really well for cardstocks, which is mostly what I'm cutting, and it stays sticky for a while. That's one of my biggest complaints with my Brother Scan and Cut, is that the mats do not stay sticky for long at all. Even if you follow every one of their steps and you take really good care of it, they do not stay sticky for long at all. So anyway, we are going to create this flower ourselves. So I'm going to just pull all of these pieces off. You can use a spatula if you want. You could even potentially just like hand cut these. I am terrible at hand cutting things. Okay, so now that we have all of these, I'm going to take a bone folder, and I'm just going to use the edge of it, and I'm going to curl these up. Now, I don't know if you can really tell, but this is like a shimmer paper. So it's kind of sparkly. So we're just going to curl all of these up. And we're going to do the same thing with our smaller piece. And then I'm just going to take some glue and put a drop in the center, and then I'm going to offset these while matching the circle piece up. Then another dab of glue, and then we'll offset this one as well. Just like that. I'm going to put another dot and offset that, and then I'm going to put another dot and offset that. So now we have a flower that looks like this. Now we want to finish off the center of that, so I used some stamens, which aren't necessarily the best representation of what the inside of a magnolia flower looks like, but you could also, like, I used some little micro beads to create a center as well. So there are lots of options. So I'm just going to grab some black ones, and I'm also going to grab my crocodile. So this has two sides. So you have the 1/8 of an inch here, and then the 3/16 of an inch here. I'm going to use the 3/8 of an inch side to just poke a hole, or to punch a hole in this, and I'm aiming for the center-ish. You don't want a big hole because you want your stamens to stay in place and not have a hole show through. So I'm going to just poke those through. So to do that, I put all my stamens together so that they were roughly evenly matched. And then I just folded it in half, and I kind of twisted my ends so that they kind of are together in a kind of point, and then poke them through. So you want a big enough hole that you can do that, but not too large that they like come right through, or, you know, what have you. So once I have them through, I'm just going to take my snips and I'm going to cut all these in half. You don't necessarily have to do this part, but you do want to glue them down, and I find it easier if I have them split in order to put them together. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a small square, rectangular, whatever piece of scrap cardstock. You don't want it to be too thin, but you want it to be thick enough that it'll hold. And I'm going to split this so that there's, a gap here. And I just went ahead and dropped a dollop of hot glue on that, and I'm just going to put this over it and kind of smush it down just so that I know those ends are going to hold. And then I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to cut off the excess kind of threads, if you will, from the stamens. And there you have a very pretty finished flower. So you can do, different things. So you can, use this. These are micro beads that I used on this one, but you could also use, a dollop of glue and, glitter or mixed glitter. Glass glitter would probably work really well. You can also change the flower itself. So on this one, I added some white pigment ink from the base of the petals and coming out, so that adds a slightly different look to it. On this one, I kind of drew in some lines from the inside of the petal towards the outside. So there are options. I am making these flowers for a project that I'm working on, and I thought that you would appreciate seeing how you could easily make your own, especially if you have a Cricut. There are lots of dies and whatnot that are available as well for making your own flowers, but I kind of like how my, little magnolia style flowers turned out, so I thought I'd share. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. I know it was a quickie, but if you do have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will do my best to address them. As always, if you guys are interested in seeing more videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks everyone.